carefully avoiding Megan Beatford's train. After the woman slipped into an empty pew on the groom's side, I realized she had not signed the bride's book on the lectern. Didn't she know you had to sign in at weddings? Ordinarily, this detail wouldn't have bothered me, but I had been assigned to oversee that book. A small task I suppose Megan felt I could handle after so far failing at what she'd hired me to do. The bride had wanted her biological mother here today. But though I'd been successful with several other cases in my new profession as an adoption PI, I still had no decent leads on Megan's background. So, why am I an adoption PI rather than the Mean Street variety? Because some things change you forever, lead you down the road you're supposed to take. The events of last summer did that for me, even though they nearly shredded my heart. Those wounds make my ticker beat a little faster, a little harder, and a little more urgently now. It all started when my gardener was murdered. I'd wanted to find out why. One thing led to another, and in the end, I discovered that my adoptive daddy lied to Kate and me about our biological parents up until the day he died. Learned that our birth mother had been murdered when she tried desperately to find the twin baby girls, me and my sister, who had been stolen from her. My daddy didn't do the stealing, but he didn't ask enough questions about the babies he was adopting either. And then there were the betrayals. We had a slew of those. Our Aunt Caroline knew the truth and never spoke up. A dear family friend helped Daddy with our illegal adoption and never came clean until I confronted him. But my ex-husband was the biggest liar and cheat of all, even more worthless than I'd realized when I divorced him. He had blackmailed my adoptive father, killed the one person who wanted to tell me the truth about our mother's death, and then tried to murder me when I figured out exactly what he'd done. And all for money. That's all I had ever meant to him. Money. But as horrible as all those things had been to endure, they had led me here today, to my new job as an adoption PI, to a real sense of purpose for the first time in my life. I might have come to this church as Megan's friend, but the job she'd hired me for still hovered in my brain like a hummingbird buzzing in the background. She would get her truth if I had anything to say about it. People deserve the truth. Just then, the latecomer dropped her handbag, the long leather clutch bag falling with a thump onto the old oak floor. Is she carrying rocks to throw at the bride and groom rather than rice? I whispered to Kate. Shh, answered my sister, who was staring over her shoulder. Making a mental note to corral the lady in the hat after the ceremony, I followed Kate's gaze and focused on Megan. She had seed pearls woven into her fine blonde hair, and a cathedral-length veil billowed out behind her. The dress was ivory silk, an A-line devoid of sparkle or beads. This elegant simplicity suited her personality, and by the admiring smile on Kate's face, I guessed she agreed with me. We had become friendly with Megan and her fiancé, Travis, in the last few months. Who couldn't be friends with folks as sweet and innocent and full of hope as those two? When I'd first met Megan, I figured she was about 16, but she came to me with a copy of her birth certificate proving she was 20 years old. That piece of paper had been my only clue in the adoption search, mainly because Megan was adamant that her adoptive parents not know she'd hired me. Besides being sweet and innocent, she was also as stubborn as a two-headed mule, a trait we happened to share. Kate and I tried to convince her not to keep secrets, arguing that maybe her parents would understand Megan's need to find out about her past and would then help us with valuable details about the adoption. But Megan wouldn't budge, saying she knew it would hurt their feelings. When her parents had told her she was adopted, they'd waited until she was a teenager. They requested she not look for her biological mother. But asking a teenager not to do something is sort of like asking a gator not to bite you.